return to the Mac. Get up what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up, first shot, come strut walking. A little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious. Somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, y'all can't copy yet. Glad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music, I shed my skin and put my bones into everything I record to it. And yeah, I'm on. Let that stage light go and...
Hello everyone, welcome into the first of the R&J show. I'm Robert Deers, alongside me, Justin Grodum, and we're gonna have a good show today. Justin's new to national sports, and it's great to have Justin on. Justin, are you excited, man?
Yeah, I'm pumped. This should be fun.
So first time we're talking about is our own high school, Sarah High School versus Mitty, Mitty is undefeated 9-0. Sarah having the one loss, and I'm actually going to bring on Kava Cassidy. Hey, Kava, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, dude? How's it going?
It's going good, dude, and, you got a big game this weekend. How are you preparing for against Mitty this weekend?
It's a championship weekend, championship game. Continue to keep doing what we've been doing throughout this whole year. WCL is a real tough league, and we're going to take every game like 100, making it no difference.
This is the biggest game for you. If you win this, you tie up for the championship against Mitty. And what is this? I know you've been watching a lot of film. What have you noticed from Mitty so far during the film sessions?
Mitty has a really tough defense. They give a lot of looks on D. Their blitz schemes are real crisp. It's hard to fill out. As a running back, you have to keep your eyes up and see where the backers are coming in too. So it's going to be a real test of our eyes and our feet this game.
Awesome. Hey, so I got a question for you, from you now, Kava. So I was just wondering, how do you think that your offense is up against their defensive line?
Offense is our offensive line, and I believe that we can get a push. If we can get a push, then it can lead us to the promised land.
I look at this team this year, and this is one of the best year you guys have had for football. And, let's go to your QB, Matt Faita. This is a man that's really done well this year, and I know you guys have had Smock and the Faita going on and off, but Faita is your main quarterback. What do you think of him? How do you think he's done this season?
Matt definitely progressed. Last year he was playing wing back or slot receiver to transitioning back to that quarterback position. I think Matt's led our team real good, led our offense real good, and we all put our trust inside him. And he's leading us where we need to go. And he's the one we look up to on the offense because he's the one that directs us. So Matt's a real good guy. He's one of my closest friends. And on the field, too, I know he has me, and he knows that I have him. So I feel that he's going to lead us to victory that game.
And, what was the whole situation with the Smock Faita deal was, so far I look at the stats this season, Faita throws for over 1,000 yards, so far Smock for over 600. And kind of the difference is I see Smock with 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You see Faita 13 touchdowns for 5 interceptions. What was the QB battle like during the summer?
During the summer we didn't even know who our starting quarterback was going to be. We had Smock inside the pocket, having good patience and getting the ball out. We had Matt in there on the run, good, throwing it. They were battling. But it's like if we have anybody in there, we can trust that they'll do the job. So whoever we have in there, we know that it's not going to be a problem.
And also, you look at your defense this year, some big-time guys. You got Maka, you got Outman, you got some really big-time guys, Danny Lavulo. Fanguna. You also got Klepi Laitaimua. How is this defense so unique?
It's our defense coordinator, Coach Vass. He brought a whole new mindset to our defense. Last year we ran a whole different defense. Now we're running 4-2-5 this year, and our coaches do a great scouting report. And our defense, they're just hard-nosed football players. They know what they need to do. They're hard, they're physical, they're smart. So our D is they're really leading our team right now. And it's just on the offensive side of the ball, we got to meet up to the intensity.
Awesome. So I was just wondering, who do you think is going to be the big guy to make the play to win the game for you guys on the defensive side?
I can't pick any individual on the defensive side. I can just say that our defense is prepared for this game, and I feel like every person on our D is going to contribute to this game, and it's going to be on them. No individual, just team effort. We play out of love for each other, and that's what we're going to do on Saturday.
Yeah, and hopefully during that game, you'll be getting that 1,000-yard mark. How you feeling about that?
Hopefully, we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna do what I've been doing the rest of the whole year, and see what I can do to help the team out.
Yeah, I definitely think that you can. Go for it, dude.
Thanks, man.
So, Cabo, I'm gonna ask you this question too. The one loss you had, and this was a tough loss for you guys against St. Francis. What was the mindset in that game? Because this was a really close one. It went back and forth. St. Francis was up in the fourth quarter, 7-0. You guys come back, 13-10 in the half. They score 14 points in the third quarter, and you guys didn't score anything. You guys have a little comeback, the 21-17, the fourth quarter, more of a scoring battle in the fourth, but you guys couldn't seal the deal. What was the mindset of that whole game against St. Francis?
Our whole mindset is we have to be more physical than the other team. We have to play disciplined football, and we just didn't. We weren't as disciplined as St. Francis that game. We weren't. We make a lot of mistakes offensively and defensively, and we need to clean it up. We've been cleaning it up, and I think that whole game was just us beating ourselves. We played Sarah and St. Francis, and we can't beat them both. That's what we've been trying to do for the rest of the season, just trying to get better and lessen up the penalties, the mistakes we've been making, trying to play more disciplined football. Because if we play disciplined football, then I feel that we'll be good.
I know you running the game, you had 23 carries. How physical was the defense for St. Francis?
St. Francis' defense is really physical. St. Francis is a real good team. Don't get me wrong. They're a really good team. Their linebackers, they're flowing to the ball really fast. Their DBs, they have Landon Beatty out there. He was doing real good. Chandler Ramirez, I know a few of those guys out there on their D, and they're just hard-nosed football players, just like our D. They're being a little physical. That's just the WCAL. That's just how it is.
And being on varsity last year compared to this year, is there a huge difference between both of the teams, or about the same?
For our Sarah teams, or?
Yeah, Sarah teams, because you were on varsity last year, all the seniors leaving. Now you kind of have a new mindset of a team because you have the new QB. You kind of get the starting position at the running back. Is it kind of a different kind of offense and defense?
Since we brought a new OC and a new defensive coordinator, that changed up our whole what Sarah's used to. They're used to that ground and pound, running down the throat, offense. And Coach Bo came and changed up flipped the whole script. Yeah, you could say last year and this year is real different. But the brotherhood's still there for each other. We all still got each other. We still love each other, and that's the whole reason. We're not playing for the hate of the other team. We're playing for the love for each other, so that we can do this for each other. So it's all brotherhood. It's all our love for each other. That's basically it.
awesome, Kava. And that's awesome what you just said. It's pretty much summarizing what we try and hold up for Sarah. And one other question. So when you look at the seniors in general, it seems like they're putting out a lot of amazing yardage this year and just amazing plays. So if you could just say one thing to the senior class, what would you say?
We'll miss them when they're gone because, I was there last year. A lot of them, be down about it. I'm not gonna be upset. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and play for my seniors because they're the ones that are leading our team.
Awesome, dude.
And, just the senior class alone, this has been such a great year. And, you look back at this season, coming into this last game, what was your best win so far this year?
Best what?
Best win.
I can't pick any individual win or any games individually. I feel every win that we got is just team effort. No wins greater than another. I feel like our performances were sometimes better than certain games, but I feel a win's a win, and that's the bottom line.
All right, and Kyle, I want to thank you for coming on and just talking Sarah football. Good luck against Mitty. I'll be broadcasting that game, so that'll be a really fun game to watch. Also, Justin will be alongside me for that one.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys on the field.
Problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, see you later, Kava. Thanks.
No problem.
That was Kyle Cassidy, the star running back for the Sarah Padres. And Justin, I'm gonna go to you. This is probably gonna be the best game of the year. And you told me before this that Sarah can beat Mitty. You got to give me what's the top 3 reasons why they can beat Mitty.
Well, I feel like in general the Sarah football team just has the better skill set to do it. When you look at the Sarah offensive stat sheet, you have over 5 different players with over 100 rushing yards of the season, and we also have 4 different guys above 200 yards. So I think that honestly, Sarah has too many weapons for Mitty to stop, and Mitty really hasn't faced an offense like Sarah where you can throw one guy in when another guy is off resting. And that's one reason. Another reason why is I think Sarah's defense is just too good. I feel like when you look at the quarterback, he has struggled in some big games for Mitty. But I feel like in this game particularly, all the big guys for Sarah are going to step up. I think that Outman's going to have a field day. He's going to be blitzing a lot. I also think that Tuatavaki might get at least 1 or 2 picks. It's just going to be an amazing outing for Sarah's defense. And the last reason I think that Sarah's going to pull this off is just because I think that they want it more. When you look at Archbishop Mitty, they're already 9-0. They don't really have that drive to win. Sarah's already had those 2 losses, one being with De La Salle and St. Francis. I feel like they know what a loss is, and they don't want to go back there. When you hear from all the players at school, and that's one of the amazing things about high school football, is you can actually talk to the guys. And just talking to these guys, you hear the emotion that they have after a loss, and it's just like they work there so hard just to get out of that stunt. So I think that since their St. Francis stunt, I feel like they're definitely going to step up and make it a big one this week.
And I look at their stat totals, and this is a team where they have a better offense than Mitty alone. So I think Sarah could score a lot more in this game because also I look at their defenses, and Archbishop Mitty kind of has more of the upper hand in a way. Their D line is pretty stacked, as you said. They have 24 the 24 sacks. So with the 22, this is gonna be a really interesting game for the defenses. But I think the offense of Sarah could come out strong, get the wide receivers out and ready to go, and then get Kyle Cassidy that he's got to blow it up in the beginning. We're gonna see how this team does. And we're going to take a break here, but when we come back, we will be talking... Well, Justin, you want to say what we're talking about?
Yeah, we'll go from everything in the world of football. We'll go from the whole Richie Incognito whole event to even some bowl predictions right now. So, can't wait to check that out.
All right, we'll be back right after this commercial break.
Get on what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up, first shot, come strut walking. A little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious. Somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, nope, y'all can't copy yet. Bad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Grown music, I shed my skin and put my bones into everything I record to it. And yeah, I'm on. Let that stage light go and shine on down. Got that Bob Barker suit game and Plinko in my style. Money, stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds. But I do that to pass the torch and put on for my town. Trust me, on my INDEPENDENT shit hustling. Chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'. Halfway across that city with the back crush shit. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country.
Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over.
Live from Los Angeles, we thank you for listening to another presentation.
Hello and welcome back to the R&J Show. I'm Robert Diers. Alongside me,
It's Justin Grudem over here.
hey Justin, how's it going?
Going good. How about you?
I'm doing good, dude. Let's talk about Richie Incognito, the best story so far to talk about.
Oh yeah. So Incognito was just officially suspended by the NFL, and he filed his grievance against the Dolphins. And overall, I don't even see why this is even necessary and why we're somewhat talking about this. This whole thing is just ridiculous of how this situation even started. I just feel like if you're being paid a substantial amount of money to play your passion, why even risk that with the thought of the fact that you could be taken away from that? What are you thinking about that over there, Dieters?
Oh man, this has been really good talk. I read up on this every time, and I look at the Dolphins and okay, Richie Incognito did do that, but listening to the interview that Incognito said they do talk that way, but I understand going too far out of context. But I also look at it as saying, Incognito could talk to your teammates like that. I think that's fine. It's a locker room thing. You keep it there. You don't let it go out to public like Jonathan Martin did and make Incognito look bad. And now Martin said that there's more teammates that do this to him. And he's not going to accuse other people for it. So what I don't get is that Richie Incognito is the one to be blamed and treated unfairly by the Dolphins for this. Now, I understand the suspension. That is worth it to do it. Now, when you look at these two guys, both of these guys aren't probably going to come back to the Dolphins. So it's even worse that, this really had to become a really bad issue. And I don't know where Martin's going to go. I don't know where Incognito is going to go. But Incognito doesn't, I heard, he had his stories and he had his ways. But, you got to be careful what you say to a second-year player, Martin. He's still trying to get used to the NFL. And he's trying to still get in that motive. But I think that Incognito is right on this grievance because you need money, too. I mean, he is going to sit out for the rest of the season. He's not even injured. So he probably does deserve the money he gets.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. I mean, he should be able to hold his contract. I mean, that's what he signed for. And even though he made this mistake, I feel like what he's been able to produce this season is substantial enough for him to keep receiving pay. But also, when you look at this, it's sort of like at the end of the day, this is a job. You can't expect to be able to even say these things to some guy if you were doing sales for Oracle or something. I'm pretty sure that at any job in the world, you wouldn't be able to just pretty much call him what he did. And at the end of the day, I think that's messed up to a degree. And Incognito's definitely paying for it. And in the past couple of years, we've almost been seeing this sort of downward spiral for the NFL, whether it's the Saints and their whole bounty program being out, whether it's the whole concussion scheme. The NFL is sort of working its way downward. And I feel like if you're really doing this for the passion of the game, then why not in the fourth quarter when your team is down, why aren't you rallying behind them like every single college football team or high school football team does? Because I feel like unless you have that still love for the game, then it shouldn't be a job. It should just be a normal day-to-day thing. And unless you put that passion that you used to have back into it, then I think it's ridiculous that you even say that, oh, it's just the game. Because in reality, you're getting paid more than any normal job. And the fact that you even try to risk that with the whole scheme, with when you're trying to just like call somebody out or anything. And I understand that's how locker room play is. I personally have never been in this situation, so I really wouldn't know. But from a person looking at it from a business perspective, it's just hard to even try and comprehend. So overall, this whole thing is ridiculous. And overall, the passion of the game has sort of died down almost. And I said the whole fourth quarter rallying thing. I was recently at the Oregon-Stanford game, and even though Oregon was down severely, 26-0, every single player on that bench when they went in the fourth quarter, when they started rallying back, was on their feet, even if they weren't going to even play, just to try and inspire something. And I think that's why I personally like the NCAA more. It's harder to look at the NFL and really relate to that, just because those guys are getting paid $2 million a year for playing a game, and maybe even sitting out half a season like Incognito may end up doing. So, just like, what do you think about that whole passion of the game thing, Gators?
College football and NFL are different, I'll give you that. But they have to have the same passion for the game as well. My bad, excuse me. But when you look at it, I mean, I kind of, there's differences and similarities between both of the games. And you want to rally back and everything, but it seems like the team will always have your back on that fourth quarter. Maybe they get paid, so what? That doesn't mean they can't root for you or cheer on for you. Teammates have your back in that locker room no matter what. And what Incognito said, okay. If you ask more than anybody that had his back a week before he left, it would be him. Because Incognito was like his best friend and stuff. Okay, look, in the 21st century, we do talk a little bit different. I can admit that. We do talk a little different. We do say things out of context. But we just don't take it as seriously. But now some people do, which makes it harder to communicate that way. But we shouldn't be acting like that, even though 21st century we do.
Yeah.
And passion for the game, I think college football, I mean, I can't lie, but I think college football is a little bit more exciting, especially when it's a closer game. I mean, NFL it is too. Don't worry, I think that too, but I think college football becomes way more intense. Especially when you're down rallying. Yeah, I see teams rooting for them even though they'd be down by like 20 and still come back and do something. And I think that's what I like about college football a lot, is that even though they don't get paid, they still have passion for the game. They love it. Football they do too, because it's their daily job. It's like a daily routine for them. Go out there, play football, get some practice in, tackle some guys, be ready for the next game.
Exactly.
But you also got to get paid to win a Super Bowl, the guy won the NBA championship, the World Series, the road. Well, they don't get paid for college football, which I kind of say that, it's just college. I mean, you're kind of paying to go there. But if you're an athlete, you're getting a scholarship to go there. So you're kind of going there for free to play football.
Yeah. And leading off from college football, I think that we should definitely get to what the Bulls are going to almost look like from this point in time, from what I'm looking at. So the way I'm looking at the Bulls right now is, if the BCS polls stay the way they are and somehow Alabama doesn't get, or Florida State don't get upset, I think that we're going to obviously have a national championship between Florida State and Alabama. Then you'll have, obviously, the Rose Bowl, which hopefully Stanford and Ohio State still remain undefeated, or they'll just sweep the table, and that will be an amazing Rose Bowl, I think. It's going to be weird to see the contrast between what Ohio State and Stanford will bring to the table. And that should be one of the better bowl games of the season, obviously, with the national championship. Then we have over with the Sugar Bowl, with the Missouri. Missouri might be the better of the SEC teams left. It may go to Texas A&M, just depending on the end of the year schedule for Missouri. But if Missouri wins out, they will probably go to the Sugar Bowl. And this is going to sound extremely weird, but it looks like we might have Central Florida in the Sugar Bowl, just because of the way the whole Big East thing is going down, which I almost feel like Central Florida doesn't. Texas A&M, who may not get in, that is obviously a much better team. But I guess that's how the BCS works. So next, obviously, you'll look at the Fiesta Bowl, which for the past couple of years has always been almost the secondary national championship. But this year, it might drop a little. If Baylor goes undefeated, which they probably will, they will play NIU. And that's my pick. I think that Florida State won't, Fresno State will get up that high. And I think that the Baylor-NIU game will just be a blowout. Baylor should just crush NIU, because NIU has yet to play a team in the top 25 and probably even won't face a top 35 team for the rest of this season. So there we go. And obviously, I'm going to lead off with my team for the Orange Bowl, which will be Clemson and Oregon. I feel like that game may be one of the better games of the season. Obviously, I'm a little with the Northwest bias right now, but I feel like when you look at those two teams, offensive powerhouses, it should be amazing to see how we can if they can pull that off. And the contrast to see if Mariota can actually come together in a big game after he may lose the Heisman will be an amazing thing to see. What are you thinking about that, Dieters? What game are you looking forward to the most, other than the national championship?
I'm looking at Stanford. Probably the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
that's definitely a good game.
Yeah, that will be definitely a good game, and probably Stanford will get it. Probably. So if I had to look at it, I think Stanford will probably win that Rose Bowl again, but I'm a Stanford fan, so I'm not going to lie here. I love Stanford. I always like watching them. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to that Stanford-Oregon game, which Groden and you went to.
Yeah, that was certainly interesting.
That was fun, huh?
Yeah, first three quarters were just amazing.
Best 3 quarters so far for Stanford, but I look at their schedule and they still got a little ways to go.
Yeah,
they got to play USC, they got to play Notre Dame, and they also got to play ASU.
That's for that Pac-12 championship game. That may be their trap game. I feel like annihilate them. I don't see any way that Notre Dame can pull that off. USC will probably compete for a good 2.5 quarters, but then they'll realize that since there are lots of scholarships and just the depth on their team isn't as much as they would hope, and then they just run out of gas. But I feel like the ASU game, I was actually at that Arizona State-Stanford game. I got tickets with my friend, shout out to Derek Daniels if you're somehow listening, but he is, I mean, when you're looking at Arizona State, those were probably the first 2 worst coaching quarters I've ever seen played in football. And when Arizona State somewhat started to come back, you almost started to watch real football. And I hate saying that, but it's probably true. And unless Stanford can come out strong like they did in the first time they're going to play Arizona State, I almost think that Arizona State could maybe pull it off. So,
interesting pick. Well, there's actually picks that USC will upset Stanford. I think if they, keep on driving that ball and running the clock.
Yeah, that's definitely what did Oregon in. I mean, when you look at how everything played out, if Oregon had maybe 3 more possessions or even 1 more possession, that game may have had a different result. But definitely Stanford has been playing the right way this season, other than the Utah game, of course. And when it comes to that Utah game, I feel like everyone's looking at that game for this as Stanford's like the true Stanford team. I don't think so at all. I think that the team that you saw in the first couple quarters against Oregon was as good as a college football team as you can get, especially in the Pac-12.
All right, well, we're running out of time here, Justin, but, I have on the first show. I know this was kind of a weird show, but, we'll get in the groove of things next time. I know this is your first show, so it's fine. We'll get on a better start, but, thanks for being on, and we're going to make this a weekly show?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've definitely got time on Thursdays, so let's go for it.
Or we'll see about partners, because, I'm into college football, but not so much into it like you are.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of see if I can get you a partner there. It seems like I could probably get you a good partner in crime for that. But we'll check it out, because we'll see what happens. But this was the first R&J show, and Justin, any last words before we go?
Yeah, thanks. Other than just thanks for listening, guys. I want to just make one prediction this weekend. I think that the Seahawks will be able to pull it off and keep that team strong. Let's go Super Bowl. First one, let's go.
All right, well, you got the prediction there, on the Niners, so me and him also have that in common. Oregon, Stanford, Seahawks, Niners, that type of thing.
It's good fun.
It's very fun, and that's what the arguments lead to. I mean, that's why you gotta go with the show. And I got the Niners maybe getting a big win in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think that they could maybe pull that off. If they could do that, that would just make all the divisional stuff a lot easier.
Revenge. We need revenge from last week. That offense needs to come out of nowhere.
Well, I don't think it was the offense that got shut down. I think it was just the defense of Carolina that pulled it off. Because I'm obviously going to make this comparison because it was my team, but the way that the Carolina Panthers held the Seahawks when they played them at Carolina, that was just ridiculous. Well, let's see. I can't wait.
I mean, Russell Wilson kind of got lucky with that one long pass, so
yeah, he usually does.
Pulls it off at the end and gets the big one. I remember watching that game. That was a good game. That was one of the better ones I got to watch.
Yeah, for sure. It was a little too close for my liking. I sort of like the Atlanta game where there was nothing. There was no way that Atlanta was going to come back. But yeah.
What about that Tampa Bay game?
Let's not talk about that. I feel like
let's not talk about that.
Okay.
What did you say? A win's a win?
Yeah, a win is a win. That's all I'm going to say. It's better to win a close game than to lose a blowout.
How's the Rams?
I don't know. I feel like when it comes to their team right now without Bradford, they probably won't pull it off. Obviously, Kellen Clemens, he was an Oregon guy, so I sort of want him to do a little better. But
I mean, he did beat the Colts, so you got to give him that credit right there.
Yeah, he put up more points than the Seahawks were able to put up, and that's sort of depressing, but whatever.
But, I look at, this NFC West. It's actually not that bad this year, I gotta admit. This is actually a better NFC West than we've had. Like the Cardinals.
Definitely. When you have two title contenders in a division, then it's a good division.
You got the Cardinals who are actually over 500. I'm glad about that. They deserve it.
Yeah.
That O-line could be better, but besides that, I mean, that team's doing pretty well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they just took all of Alabama's offensive line right now, that would probably be it. Maybe a 75% win team.
We'll see what happens. I mean, so far, the Rams have a losing record, but they're not doing that bad.
Yeah, and the thing about the Rams is when they get Bradford back next year, you saw a real progression in their running game in these past two games, but I can't wait to see how that's going to go down.
Well, that's all the time we got, by the way, everyone. Check out our new website, nationalsportsradio.com. Really interesting to check out. I know, Justin, you got to put up that bio, dude. You got to put up that bio. Waiting for you on that.
I'll write that up.
Got to write that up. And by the way, we have articles up, too. We got one about Oregon.
Yeah.
Have you read it yet, Justin?
Surprisingly good. I read it. It was good.
That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Mr. Stephen Hughes from Aragon wrote that, part of National Sports. And we also have another one about college, just college in general, about everyone, how they participate in sports and don't get paid. Listen to that, Blake Devine's on that one.
Yeah, it's definitely a big topic nowadays with the whole Manziel thing and even going back to the Cam Newton thing. I mean, to a degree, I feel like they should almost get a pay, but it's so controversial that you never know.
So check out that, check out the website, check out Facebook, National Sports. In affiliation with the National Sports Network.
You guys have a good week.
You too, man.
Live from Los Angeles, we thank you for listening to another presentation of the National Sports Radio Station on Spreaker.com.